YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and we're back in GOR-ROK's campaign, and we've had quite an exciting time with the Skaven over the last few turns. As you'll have seen, and it's not over yet, we've still got Griebit's bootlick over here. There is going to be a boot in his throat. I don't know about any licking, but we'll help him. Anyway, it's about time for me to end a turn. However, a couple of quick things to throw in from your participation, which, thank you for participating. Please continue to do so. I will be asking you for things throughout the episode in order to have you participate. You all, I went and looked to see what the most voted on name was. And Gustav there for apparently a great Nile Croc. We're going to call him Gustav the Great Croc. So you all helped me name him, and there he is. You all can help me name units. You can help me name lords. I'm going to be looking for comments as we go along. I may not get every one, but I'm doing my best. Also, as far as the army suggestions for GOR-ROK, people want to see Temple Guard with a couple of dinos and other stuff mixed in. So we will do that. I'm going to put a Scar Veteran, mostly Temple Guard and dinos as soon as we have the opportunity. And then I want to do a more skink-focused army with Gustav. So you all get down in the comments, tell me what you want to see from Gustav or anything else that you think needs to be in the campaign. If you have been enjoying it, when you're done with this episode, if you like it, make sure you hit the like button. Let's keep those likes up high. It'll help other people get joined in and we can keep making these. And then also, if you want to make sure you see the next episode, be subscribed and we'll take care of that. But again, wait till the end and then you'll know whether or not it's worth it. I'm going to end this turn. Well, we've been ambushed by Mika. My worry is that Ikit came down from the north as well, and this might be a really difficult battle to win. Ambushed by Mika. And Ikit Claw, as we will see. Indeed, Ikit Claw was present. So I do have a larger force to deal with. Luckily for me, the AI is absolutely terrible when it comes to properly ambushing and using reinforcements. Mika's force was in no position to be in a battle. He's here with almost no hit points and a few Jezzails, along with a couple of Rattling Gunners. Nothing that has any prayer whatsoever at holding my force for more than about 10 seconds. So we'll see how that goes for them. You can see Mika approaching rather suicidally. I think it's the right way to put it, but you know, that's pretty normal for a Skaven. Really, he thinks he can have a piece of croak? Yep, he just one-tapped Mika. There we go. We'll capture that. May put that one on a picture somewhere. That was pretty good. It's like a postcard. Postcard from Lustria. One-tapping a Skaven Lord when you're GOR-ROK and then just standing there because you're big Saurus daddy and you know it. Alright, a few moments later with my army gathered up and ready to fight, we do get the brass orb from Ikit Claw. That's the best he can do. He's going to need to do quite a bit better. Ikit Claw doesn't seem to understand the power of Croak. He's got all of his forces blobbed up rather nicely. Apparently they would like to be delivered in a deliverance of Itza. Sent along the great journey, if you will, for those of us Halo fans. See his pew-pew back here, which is appropriate for Ikit Claw. Definitely appropriate. He's got some warp fire throwers, too. I end up putting a Deliverance of Itza here that's honestly a big waste. I was getting a little bit overzealous with my Deliverance abilities. However, the Skaven infantry still comes to fight me rather blobbed up and leaves most of them for a follow-up action here. Although the first one wasn't terribly effective, the infantry of Clan Scryer is near immediately killed. And we're going to be able to move along into a mop-up process. Not much to be seen here, really. I'll kind of just fast-forward in. I know this is supposed to be cinematic, so I guess I will get you a little bit of cinema here, which is even a somewhat beaten-up GOR-ROK. Still greater than Ikit Claw. Guy's got a jetpack, but he's got no hope. He thinks he's better off than he is. I don't know if he saw what GOR-ROK did to Mika, but He's about to get more of the same. We do have the shield back here for protection, but look how badly Icketclaw was trounced. Lord Croak with a bunch of kills. Yeah, GOR-ROK just put an absolute beating on Icketclaw, and at this point, we've defeated a lot of his remaining minions. I do have some chameleon skinks that worked around this flank and took out his rattling guns, and then that just leaves over here some Warplock Jezzails attempting to snipe at me, but they're just not going to have what it takes to finish it. Now, the Warpfire Throwers do get a shot or two because I can't catch them at this point, but they are soon to be delivered from the battlefield as well, if you all get my meaning. They can throw Warp Fire. Croak throws a fire all his own. You can see it doesn't necessarily drop all of them dead, but causes tremendous damage, which really helps lead pretty much into a chain rout here. My chameleon skinks, although not terribly good against armor or shields, are able to get close, and they do deal a lot of damage. So the Warplock Jezzails won't be able to sit here and take that kind of punishment for long, especially with their leadership already on the ropes. And that's going to be a chain rout, but not before Icket gets one last cheeky brass orb there at the end, of course. Well, a couple of mistakes with Croak's Deliverance of Itza cast, but still, resounding victory. Unfortunately, we're too late to get to Axolotl there. It's now going to be under the control of Skaven, and it looks like the first faction's going after the Vortex, which is going to be several at once. You can see the cheaters are. Either that or I'm just really awful, I guess, but most likely they're cheating, because they all started on the exact same turn. CA, please. We do need some more strength in the army. Holy crap, Ola. Are we done? Are we done? We good? Messages? More messages? Alright. Seriously though, a little bit of message overload there at the end. We're not in one of our own provinces, so I can't pick up the new spear unit. And I can't regular march back to Ketsa. I could push forward and retake Mouth of Kereza, because I'm guessing that the garrison here is just gosh awful, and it is. And at least we would get to replenish and bring on the new unit, but unfortunately we've lost some money with the loss of that settlement. That's why I've been saving a little cash. We're safe here at Chakwa, at least for the moment. We need to make sure that there is defenses coming for it. It's going to cost some precious money that I don't have a lot of right now. But I'm going to go ahead and build the Skink Lookouts and others, because we do need that settlement to be able to hold for a turn or two, because we're going to be attacked from so many different directions. Do I auto-resolve this? Charge bonus? I mean, it's not really going to help any of these units here, I guess. Always do a auto-save there, a quick save if you're worried about the auto-resolve. Which I was. Sometimes they'll kill off a bunch of units at a very inopportune moment. So we're going to get very quick replenishment. This is what I wanted. Not the most important settlement from a strategic standpoint, though it does at least put me back in the positive. I don't know how long we can hold this settlement for. We do want the regeneration for GOR-ROK. That's going to be absolutely huge. Constant on himself does make him weak to fire, but not terribly concerned about fire weakness. At least not any time in the near future here. Magic resistance. Missile resistance for Croak could certainly be handy. Shield of Safari. Not great because it only lasts for 9 seconds. This immune to psychology could be good in certain scenarios. I'm not sure that we really have to have it right now. This Colossal Deliverance damages the walls of a targeted settlement. That could be quite handy to have in a particular scenario if we want to siege faster as well. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use that, though, and right now I really just kind of want to focus on getting ridiculously fast replenishment, so I feel like that'll be as helpful to us as anything, because our armies are going to need to recover. Alright, so that's... let's see here. We're going to have to swing back and take Axolotl. We're building defenses at Chakwa, but it's not really ready to stand on its own. Extra missile damage for Skinks, certainly not going to be a bad thing in the long run. And we do have a lot of building we can do, though I'm not inclined to spend heavily on it at the moment because we're a little strapped for cash. Alright, so Clan Scryer with Ikit Claw used the underway in order to flee. It's actually exactly what I would expect out of Clan Scryer. I do actually want to go ahead and wait a turn and get my fighting force up to full. I'm going to double check that. Just get eyes on. Yeah, they're at a full stack here. Settlement's still damaged, though. At least it should be. Yeah, walls are still damaged. So, with the walls still being damaged, they have a warlord. They don't even have access to lightning, so yeah, these guys are kind of a joke, honestly. So they do have walls, but we should be able to just get in and take them out. Now, at the walls of Axolotl, you can see that because of the previous Skaven assault, there are already gaping holes in their defenses, and a fairly meager force of rats to defend anyway. They do have some Night Runners, but mostly just Skaven slaves and clan rats. Nothing that has a prayer of knocking its way through the 60 to 70 melee defense present on most of my Saurus. I like that. GOR-ROK just waltz in, takes a mace, kills a bunch of Skaven, but Krok, of course, he doesn't even need a mace. Krok has a way all his own, and I think you all are familiar with it, and if you're not, you're going to be crazy familiar with it by the end of this campaign. So, yeah, blobbing up to defend, sometimes a good idea. Choke points, typically a good idea. Choke points with Lord Krok, a very, very bad idea. That would be like getting into a choke point when someone has a Doom Rocket. Yeah, not a good idea. So Krok instantly cleared out the main passage here, and I'm going to be bringing reinforcements through. Here comes all of my Skinks clamoring through the walls. And I'm going to use my Skinks to go after this ball over here. This is mostly the faster skirmish units that can stay ahead of my Saurus and be very annoying. Though there are a few clan rats back here, I will dedicate a Saurus warrior to this flank in order to handle the clan rats and the Skaven slave spears, as they are much more effective at it. The Skinks, if you have the right upgrades, can handle those units, but not the best. Once again, the Skaven leave quite a few units all in one place, and they happen to be the annoying Night Runner slingers that I hate with a passion, and so I was glad to send them running along after their last night on the Warhammer world. So you can see here all my troops getting lined up, javelins being hurled, so we're going to cut our way through the Skaven here. One last unit was present holding back all of my forces. I don't know how the leadership of Skaven slaves is holding right here. There's a few clan rat spears. They're all clan rat spears. They just look like slaves because they're so terribly pathetic. They're a slave to the stench, I guess, if they're Skaven. So I asked Krok if he would ask them to kindly move along, clearing the riffraff off the streets. And it is done. So my forces are going to move on. There is a couple of units defending the gates, which this gives you an idea at where the intelligence level of Clan Scryer, or these rebels, they're not even a clan. Clanless Skaven, yeah. Yeah, we better protect the gates, gents. Certainly nothing coming from our left flank. Don't turn and look at the entire army and the giant undead toad. Nothing to see there. Now, over here, we do have these Night Runners that have been caught. And because of their positioning and the fact that they're Night Runners, and this is a campaign on a very hard difficulty, the Night Runners will last far too long in melee, so I'm going to start scooting some units around their flank to break them. And over here, my Saurus warriors have engaged some clan rats. Clan rats, of course, completely and utterly outmatched, and it's only a matter of time before they fall. And then over here, the Skaven once again sent a blob of infantry to get in my way, which they have to, but I guess that the same that they have to send the infantry, which is very nice of them. Go ahead and wonder that second unit in here so we can speed things up. GOR-ROK is certainly making a day of it at 560 kills. Not his highest, but a pretty stellar performance. There's some more Night Runners and Night Runner slings back here, along with some Clan Rats and Clan Rat spears. You can see down this lane that my Chameleon Skinks have gone ahead and gone around the flank. I've got my Sara spears engaged, and the Night Runners, once again, not even really sure how they're holding out here, but that one just lost his head. It's about the right way to cleanse the Skavens. Just go ahead and take the head off. Maybe a little fire if we had it. Good dino stomping is always appropriate, I find, as well. That's the end. Well, I figured Blistit wouldn't put up much of a fight, and, well, we figured right. What a chump. Alright, so we've taken our province back. Unfortunately, it was ransacked. Fortunately, there wasn't much here to begin with. That's right. I hadn't spent much on this particular province. So Chakwa has defenses underway, though we do know that there are enemy armies north of us. We really need these greenskins out of here. Stop stealing my... They need to stop stealing my money. Not real happy about this. Don't believe it's proper etiquette either. I have a pretty significant garrison here at Keytax, and even though my army is relatively small, we have enough garrison we can certainly deal with a bunch of savage orcs. I want to keep the pressure on with GOR-ROK down here. I don't want to lay off these guys for a minute. I really want to push the Altar of the Horned Rat, because that was my original objective, and it has the ritual resources. So I want to take Headhunter's Jungle. Plus, it helps me cut into the swath of Skaven. This idiot still won't take peace off me. I figured he would, and that would be one less faction I have to worry about trying to put troops behind me, but seems that it is what it is. We're going to end up with a rebellion here eventually too, but Itza is pretty well guarded, so not terribly worried. One of the things, we could get this Feral army, but that will take all my money and we'd be heavily in the red if we do that. Rite of Resilience is very good for us because it makes our Saurus warriors extremely strong. So I'm kind of thinking we turn to that. Yeah. Let's perform the rite. We don't have Saurus warriors in Gustav's army. Ooh, we can fight for the Shield of Aeons there. Yes. That will be soon, then. What do we have here? Extra melee attack and unbreakable, as long as hit points are greater, or disabled if hit points are greater than 50%. Melee defense and magic resistance. All of these things are good. None of these things are bad for him. We just want to keep making him more and more of a tank. Makes perfect sense. Let's start with Impassable Defenses because it affects him all the time, and then we'll get Unflinching last because it only protects him under a certain condition. I think I'm going to put the Legion of Chakwa in this army, give it a little bit more anti-large capability. And then as soon as I get it back, I'll put the Cohort of Sotek back into Gustav's army. I'm not going to spend, again, any more money outside of this at the moment. Enact our commandment there and end our turn. Well, apparently Hellkeek had plans, and he was trying to sneak underneath us. He has a great deal of armored infantry at his disposal, but I have a great deal of Lord Croak at my disposal, and some Saurus warriors with nutty stats right now. So, let's do it. Deep in the caverns beneath Lustria, GOR-ROK had the opportunity to intercept some Skaven, and if the Skaven get intercepted underground by a lizard who I don't think typically goes underground, it just shows you, again, the level of IQ at which these Skaven are operating. We now have the Legion of Chakwa here in the middle, though I did forget to use their ability even though we're under fire. There are a lot of Storm Vermin with sword and shield and Storm Vermin with halberds in this army. It is a fairly elite infantry army brought here by Clan Spittle, led by Hellkeek. Though there will be plenty of opportunity for Lord Croak to shine here, of course. You can see Hellkeek here, the Warlord, going straight after Croak, who really is a bit overextended. And so Croak will take some initial damage here. And look at the targets of opportunity. The only other thing that'd be really cool here would be a Wind of Death, which would just be probably even better than the Deliverance of Itza in this case, but Deliverance of Itza will have to do just fine. I was trying to pick a spot where I can go ahead and break a flank first. So if I take out the rats on my left flank, basically blow a giant gaping hole in them, we can start working our way to the next position. So you can see that over here I'm using the shield because this fight's going to go on longer. We did bust the left flank of the Skaven. It's my right flank, I apologize. And we're continuing to work through that flank with the Deliverance of Itza. Our infantry would have a pretty good go at most of these infantry. It would just be a long slug out. Possibly the Skaven infantry could win in a long slug out, but I kind of doubt it. The stats of my Saros warriors are absolutely absurd. At this point, GOR-ROK is slicing his way through enemies. Hellkeek is still here, and you can see that I'm using continual Deliverance of Itza, really getting as much magic out here as I can. It's going to be a way to maximize the effectiveness of this army. Hellkeek getting tossed around like the sorry clan rat that he is. Absolutely no match for the elite Saras. I love it. I love how GOR-ROK is just way too big, way too bad for all these lords on foot. I mean, look at this. He's healing, but of course he doesn't even have any damage inflicted to him. And he's just absolutely owning Hellkeek. There are a few regrouped units here. I'll bring a Saras out to deal with them. I do have the opportunity to get another Deliverance of Itza, and I'm just going to go ahead and try and finish clearing this flank. So Croak has been brutally effective in this battle. And I do mean brutal. The Skaven just can't take it. Many of them are fleeing, only a few left fighting at this point. So I'm going to start transferring reinforcements to where they're needed, attacking regrouped Skaven, and looking to completely finish the fight. Hellkeek has come back once again, I guess needing another lesson in pain and suffering. But he is a Skaven, so I actually kind of think they enjoy that, whatever weird way it is that they exist. So Clan Spittle being wrecked on their own turf underground in the rat tunnels. Alright. We defeated Hellkeek decisively. We've got all of our troops, for the most part, healed. A little bit of damage done. Although Altar of the Horn Rat is going to have some garrison and a couple of annoying Warlock engineers, which really just means double Warp Lightning for days. We got troubles up north, though, folks. Marcus Wolfheart and Alderbross Flus have showed up. We're going to have to deal with them. Gustav would be in great peril had he stayed in Chakwa, because I don't know whether or not the troops that he had there to help back him up would be capable. Which means that I could force march back, but then I show up to battle tired against a significant Empire force. And that does not seem intelligent. However, I feel like we need to get rid of Grievous Bootlicka. He's taken way too much of our income. So I'm going to declare war on this. Strength rank 1. Really? The Blue Vipers, CA. Really? Someone needs to, screenshot this and highlight that and put it out in a tweet. It says, CA, please. Tag Total War in it. Maybe I'll do it. Alright. Really? Strength rank 1. I would say it's funny, but it's not, because now I've got to beat up, 15 or 16 Savage Orcs and their Lord. It's just downright annoying, to be honest, but we do have a Blessed Stegodon to help us do it, and quite a few reinforcements. Alright, Griebit's Bootlicka is apparently a camper as well, as if his name wasn't insulting enough. So he's camping the hill in the Mac because he's defending, and apparently doesn't realize that I actually have a ranged advantage, and he has no armor, no shields, and basically a bunch of angry orcs in disgusting, filthy, reused loincloths, no doubt pulled off the corpse of their predecessors after having soiled themselves in another battle. Yeah, I don't think much of these greenskins here, if you can't tell. I've had my Stegodon firing at range, unfortunately not super effective sometimes because of the terrain, but we did manage to kill a few boars. And this has triggered the Savage Orcs to come attack me, which is what I want. My left flank is just the Chameleon Skinks out there and the Pterodon Riders, and they will skirmish away and basically attempt to pull a large amount of infantry away from the force where they're needed to attempt to defeat my infantry. I have transferred 2 Saurus spear units to my flank in order to intercept the boars that are moving there. They will try and charge the flank of my Saurus warriors with shields. It will be met instead by a unit very well equipped to fight them. And then my Blessed Stegodon is supporting my main line, as is Gustav and his Scar veteran from the local settlement. Gustav definitely has Griebitz in his sights, and he is going to crump Griebitz and send him packing back to whatever version of the Badlands exist in Lustria. So we will indeed watch Griebitz get crumped here. Come on, death roll him! I wish you'd just bite the enemy lord, grab a hold of him in the mouth, and like just literally start rolling them over and over again until they fly apart. That would be an amazing death animation. Oh, boy, he just got punched. I don't know what it feels like to get punched by a big croc. Look how quick that was, by the way. I may need you guys' help on coming up with a different name for Griebitz that's more appropriate to his level of performance in this fight, as Gustav dropped the croc hammer on him in literally almost no time. The Stegodon is tearing up the center, which is good. My Skinks aren't really great versus Savage Orcs. They're far too low armor. Savage Orcs are very, very good against stuff with low armor. And then they typically have the Frenzy going. Now they're starting to blob up over here, which will make them an excellent target for the Stegodon. I've also been working on outflanking them. I have some spears coming in, and some more units back there. And of course, Gustav is quite good at taking out infantry once he's done with the enemy lord, so that's where we'll use him. I've pushed my Cold One Spear Riders through a gap in the middle, and they are going to go take out the Savage Orc Error Boys, who, again, probably should have brought a little bit better gear into combat, as they're going to find themselves fighting in a position that will be most unpleasant. See the Cold One Spear Riders here catching up with their quarry. I hate how the charges kind of get spoiled by a unit fleeing. It's still something that CA really needs to address in Warhammer 2. Trying to charge something that's run away should be pretty effective, but it's actually pretty ineffective most of the time just because of the way the mechanics are working. So you can see the Blessed Stegodon having fun playing with his food in the background. Little fungus. Guess good for a dinosaur diet in this case. Certainly better than eating a lot of rats. I guess you could saute the greenskins too. Might be quite tasty. Little palm oil, sauteed fungus. There you go. So, my Blessed Stegodon quickly breaking up the blobs, and the Chameleon Skinks actually worked a couple of infantry units the entire game. Several of them, in fact. You can see they got a lot of kills and did a great job pulling away much-needed forces for Griebitz. And that's going to be the end of the Greenskin raiding. Alright, Gustav the Great Croc defeats the Bootlicka. Not a big surprise there. As you can see, if we didn't have the reinforcing army or the Stegodon, this fight would have been totally different. I'm actually kind of glad his army's all damaged, because sometimes the AI is not good about getting back and replenishing. It sometimes takes them longer to do that than it otherwise would. I can't finish him this turn anyway. He's too far away. We really need magic in this army badly. And I think we have the money to risk it here. We can build a Shrine of the Old Ones, get access to... I would really like to have a Skink Priest Lore of Heavens. And that's available there. Heavens is a great lore. I mean, so is Beast. But we're going to go ahead and do that. Salamander Hunting Packs would be great for when we're really needing anti-large. Which I don't know if that moment is now. But yeah, Wolfheart definitely going to cause us trouble in the north. That'll be pretty much first thing in the next episode. I would like to deal with that with Gustav if possible. I don't know if that is possible, though. We're going to have to kind of see what happens at Chakwa. I think I know what's going to happen. They're going to destroy it on the next turn or take it. Ketsa is a lot more well-defended. I say that kind of. It looks like they actually have the exact same garrison for the most part. Maybe an extra Cold One Spear Rider there. Only different, and an extra Chameleon Skink or two. Looks like those trade out a little. So, I mean, a mostly similar garrison, but it has walls. That's the big deal. But, yeah. We're going to have to keep putting a beating on our enemies and keep surviving. Hopefully you are enjoying this. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you want to see next. How do you think I'm doing? Where should we go? What kind of armies? What kind of lords? Again, always curious for your feedback. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now. I will see you all soon.